After the dust settles on yet another loss for the Arizona Cardinals, one thing remains. There's so many more questions than answers. And this time, not the good ones. Let's discuss.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Cardinals. I'm Alex Clancy. The Cardinals are 2-4, and we are having wildly different conversations and experiences than anybody would have expected through 6 weeks. So how's that for a Monday? Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward Mazda Move and Be Move. 15 years in sports media, 9th season hosting the show. I was more excited going into this season than any season previous, and that's what I get for being excited. Lot to break down. It's going to take more than one show from what we experienced yesterday. Cardinals lose 31-27, drop to 2-4. There was some good, for sure. There was some, oh no, that bad, and there was a lot in between. We'll talk about the defensive struggles in the final segment. Is Jacoby Brissett QB1? Talk about that in the second segment. But overall, it was a wide range of emotions yesterday. Okay. First, with the offense looked competent. Jacoby Brissett threw for over 300 yards. Threw the ball 40-plus times. Trey McBride, 8 receptions. Zay Jones, almost 80 yards receiving. Touchdown pass Trey McBride. Touchdown pass Greg Dortch on a sneaky little crossing route where Greg Dortch snuck in. Run game was pretty much non-existent, under 100 yards again, rushing. The first question you have is, why couldn't Kyler Murray do that? I think that's the human first question. Well, why couldn't Kyler Murray do that? Is it just because Jacoby Brissett's 6 inches taller than Kyler? Is that it? Is it because their blocking schemes are geared more towards people who can stand in the pocket and bounce and step up if need be and not, get out of the pocket at first second of pressure? Is that it? And these aren't rhetorical questions. Is it because the run game without James Conner and Trey Benson can't be trusted? It couldn't be trusted all year. But is that it? Did Drew Petzing finally figure out that if teams are going to stack the box, you're going to have to throw more? All of these questions, I don't know the answer to. Nobody does, obviously. But what we saw was the most competent this offense has looked from second one to the final bell at any point this season. This was a full game of competent offense. 9 for 14 on third down. And one of them was third and forever, and Jacoby Brissett laced one to Trey McBride crossing to get them into first and goal territory. Why did it look so easy for Jacoby Brissett? And the obvious question, the obvious answer, the one you don't have to think is, Kyler Murray's not that good. Okay, so that's a lot of what I've seen. But also, we saw this with Colt McCoy years ago when he went 2-1 when Kyler was out. Backup quarterbacks can win football games. Backup quarterbacks, especially those who have a, career like Jacoby Brissett. Andy Dalton's made a career out of it. Goes to a team, starting quarterback gets hurt, he comes in, starts a bunch of games, wins some, plays competent in most. Joe Flacco. We saw the full Joe Flacco experience yesterday. We saw the full Joe Flacco experience. Why couldn't Kyler Murray do that? Unlike in years past, there's a lot more question marks surrounding Kyler Murray's ability to lead a team to wins than there was in years past. So more recently, it's not just, but it's Colt McCoy, same thing. But years past. But no, this is different. We're in a different world now. So I'll talk about that more in the second segment. But that's the biggest takeaway. It's like the offense looked good. The defense didn't. The defense looked good for 3 quarters. And they gave up 2 touchdowns in the fourth. The first drive of the game and the last drive of the game was like Madden on easy, which is crazy. You're not used to that. Dudes like Josh Downs and Alec Pierce were carving the Cardinals up between the tackles of the seam. Michael Pittman was fine. I mean, he wasn't really that much of an impact guy. And then Tyler Warren, 6 for 66 and a touchdown. Daniel Jones only threw for 200 yards, 210 yards. And then, as I said on this show, not because I'm smart, but because, the Locked On Colts host Jake Arthur, one of the dynamic duo over there, told me they just hammer the rock. They run the ball really hard in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, and that's what they did. Jonathan Taylor ate him alive in the fourth. Absolutely ate him alive. So can you feel good about a game where the defense didn't play very well, but the offense played pretty well? Or is this a situation where the offense looked like an NFL offense, and that's something that's been so starved for by all of us that it looks better than it did? It feels better than it looked. It's like if you've been craving a hamburger for 6 weeks and then you go to McDonald's. It's like, oh, well, maybe McDonald's, because McDonald's has pretty good hamburgers, like all things considered. But if like you go and get like a gas station hamburger, it's like, oh man, this burger's so good. Is it? Or have you just been craving it for a long time? We'll find out next week. But the Cardinals had a lead going into the fourth. They had a lead in the fourth. And it's just a thing where they, again, weren't able to hold on to it. I mean, they were up 27-24 with 9.5 minutes left in the fourth. And I think now this is how far things have fallen. But also, this is factual. So Cardinals had the ball with 4.5 minutes left. Down 4. Okay? 4.5 minutes left, down 4. They marched down the field. They marched down the field. And they had 1st and 10 from the 12 or something. Ended up getting into 4th down and not converting. And the Trey McBride, the tug, first of all, the Cardinals never get that call. And that's not like, woe is me, the Cardinals just never get that call. And then secondly, it wasn't pass interference. It wasn't really defensive holding. And also the Cardinals are going to get that call. If Jacoby Brissett threw a little bit of a lighter ball, and I think because Trey McBride was stumbling, it made it look like he airmailed it more than he did. I think Trey McBride would have had to reach up for it if he was able to keep his feet. But, the fact that the Cardinals marched down, that's a brand new world. That's an absolutely brand new world. So, I mean, this is what happens when you pick sides and don't look at rational things that are in front of your face. Drew Petzing had a day yesterday. Maybe it's not all on him. Maybe it's just the combination of Kyler Murray and Drew Petzing that doesn't work. I don't know. But what I do know is what we saw yesterday was an offense that looked wildly more competent than the majority of the season so far. And the starting quarterback was standing on the sideline in street clothes. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. Is it Jacoby's offense moving forward? We just got to discuss it. Okay? We got to discuss it. I'll explain. Relax. Next. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by our friends at Miz and in Maine. So, the saying, look good, feel good. The problem is that most dress clothes only check one of those boxes. They look sharp, but feel stiff, hot, high maintenance. That's why there's Miz and Maine. Miz and Maine is making classic menswear with performance fabrics. So it's effortless to look sharp and feel comfortable. They've actually invented the performance fabric dress shirt over 10 years ago, and they've perfected it ever since. I've got one in my closet right now. No baloney. I 100% do. And right now, Mizzen and Main is offering our listeners 20% off your first purchase at mizzenandmain.com with promo code LOCKEDONNFL20. That's Mizzen spelled M-I-Z-Z-E-N and Main, M-A-I-N.com. Promo code LOCKEDONNFL20 for 20% off. And if you'd rather shop in person, you can find Mizzen and Main stores in select states. Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is also brought to you by Mazda. Moving the game forward, man. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. And there are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game. This week's moment that moved the game forward is, for me, and I know it didn't result in a score, it was Jacoby's go route to Michael Wilson on that last drive that set them up in really good field position. Jacoby Brissett's got a really sweet, long, deep ball. Like, he's got really nice touch, and he lets the playmakers go up and get it. So, listen, that moved the game forward. Unfortunately, the Cardinals couldn't convert, but it put them in a great position to do so. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Please go to the YouTube channel, search Locked On Arizona Cardinals, hit that subscribe button, man. Thanks to everybody who continues to watch the instant reaction show and then the Cardinal squad show immediately following. Really appreciate we're building the community there as well. And then, you get to see my big dumb face actually a couple times a week. So lucky you. Is this Jacoby Brissett's offense moving forward? Say Kyler Murray is healthy for week 7. Do you start Kyler Murray? Jonathan Gannon said Kyler Murray's a starting quarterback at the end of last night. The guys with the Cardinal squad show pushed back a little bit when I said that was kind of dumb to say. Like, I understand in hindsight. It's like, yeah, Jonathan Gannon's like, you got to have a unified front here. You don't want to invite quarterback controversy. I'm in the camp that, especially with the foot injury that he has, you'd expect it not to be just a 1-week injury. I would be like, I've talked to this a couple times, like, if their bye week was week 11 or week 12, would they have put him on IR? Like, would they have put him on IR? But because they have the bye week, you have that extra free week for him to rest, so you don't necessarily have to force that 4th game where he'd be on the shelf. But if he's healthy on Sunday, do you start him? This is where the NFL season gets weird for some teams with injuries. The entire Cardinals roster seems to be hurt. We didn't even talk about Marv going concussion protocol. He looked pissed off when he was walking off the field. So hopefully it was preventative because it was earlier in the game. Let's hope he doesn't miss time. This is where real football becomes fantasy football. And I've mentioned it like this before. Like, it doesn't matter who makes what. You got to put out the best product on the field. And the best product on the field that we've seen from start to finish in a game was with Jacoby Brissett calling the plays. And that's weird to say. It's weird to say. And me, every day, as you know this, I've been on the Kyler side of the aisle pretty much since the beginning. This is the last few weeks is the first time I've kind of questioned that. And I've questioned it in the past. I'm like, well, I'm not just blind to one side, but it's like the proof was there that there were other broken things and it wasn't him. He wasn't the biggest problem. He wasn't, even close to the biggest problem. And I'm not saying he's the biggest problem now either, but I'm also saying when it's such a stark contrast from laboring, which the offense looked like for large chunks of the season so far, to pseudo effortless with the flow that we saw yesterday against not a terrible defense. It makes you question more deeply than just, oh no, it was a one-off. You start the guy that's making $50 million. After what I saw yesterday, while Kyler will have the higher ceiling always, Jacoby Brissett's got the higher floor. Now, does a higher floor win you games? This is going to be a tough matchup for the Cardinals anyways. Let's hope Marv can be back healthy and the defense can continue to get healthier. Walter Nolan, I think the window's going to open up here soon. Wonder if he'll play this week or if they're going to hold him out throughout through the bye week. This is kind of playing for the season in week 7. I can't, you hear just how, I tweeted out, I'm week 18 exhausted in week 6. Every single game has been a dogfight. They've lost, their 4 losses have been by combined 9 points, which is heartbreaking. I know good teams win. Good teams win close games. Good teams don't let other teams back into games after they're dominating them. It wasn't so much that Jacoby Brissett threw for over 300 yards and, had the offense humming, was throwing the ball down the field. They were moving the ball. The depth of target was exponentially deeper than with Kyler Murray. I know that maybe that kind of regresses back to the mean with the wide receiver screens they threw later in the game, but that drive, down 4.5 minutes, got to score a touchdown. They marched down the field in under 4 minutes. And they had an opportunity to win. I don't know if I've felt that confidence with the Arizona Cardinals offense at any point this season. I know they came back against Seattle. That's their own fault. 3 quarters of just terrible, embarrassing college level football on the offensive side of the ball. So you give them credit for a comeback tie when you were the one that put you in that room. It's like somebody having an hour to start a test, starting 35 minutes in and almost finishing. It's like, oh man, that was heroic. No, it wasn't. You handicapped yourself. Do you start Jacoby Brissett over Kyler Murray? Here's the thing. I think Kyler would miss Sunday anyways. So it's going to be much ado. But say they beat Green Bay. If they beat Green Bay, the odds are not the odds. The stakes are never higher than in week 9 when they come back. So then you're going to roll out Kyler Murray. And what if the offense is terrible? Then you sit him and then you start Jacoby Brissett the rest of the year? I don't know, man. The offense hummed yesterday. It wasn't great. This is the part that I struggle with, and we'll talk about the defense in a minute here. Was it the new car fresh smell? Was it, oh man, this is refreshing to see the offense run this way? And it was effective? Or was it, above average, but it just magnified because we hadn't seen that at all this year? Is that enough to make a switch? I think but do I think it'll happen? Absolutely not. When Kyler Murray comes back and he's healthy, he's going to be the quarterback. Is that the right call? I don't know. But if we see what we saw on Sunday, if we see in week 7 what we saw in week 6 from Jacoby Brissett, if Kyler Murray misses the game, how can you rationally not have a conversation? Luckily, we don't have to think about that for 100 hours or so, which is fantastic. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. The defense struggled. It's kind of surprising. Yeah, we'll talk about it next. This episode of Locked On Cardinals is brought to you by Supply House. Why am I singing each one this time? When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. The Part Finder tool and 3D schematics can save you hours on jobs where every detail matters. Their Trade Master perks, like priority shipping and dedicated support, make the whole process smoother. Join the free Trade Master program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHNFL5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. Today's episode of Locked On Cardinals is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is ripping through, man. We're almost through week 6, 33% of the way done. And FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. That's insane. That's insane to me. You want to bet on who's going to be MVP? We've got Daniel Jones up there. We got Baker Mayfield up there. We got Patrick Mahomes now up there after 10 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. So if you're a new customer, bet $5. If that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started, man. Go. YouTube channel, Locked On Arizona Cardinals. Subscribe. Please. Leave a like. This has been an uncomfortable year. Is that an understatement? There's been zero comfort felt this year. It's been fleeting. So you had like 35 minutes of real time, including halftime. So 35 minutes of real time in the Carolina game. You had about a half, 3 quarters in the Tennessee game where you felt comfortable. And the rest has been just absolute debauchery. Sober debauchery, but absolute debauchery. Yeah, it has been great. But I'll tell you what, again, it was a breath of fresh air watching Jacoby Brissett throw the ball down the field and, making a target monster out of Trey McBride. That's what you've been waiting for. The defense. So Max Melton got lit up a little bit. The pass rush only got home once, I think. And the run defense needs to be monitored, but this was Jonathan Taylor. Okay. I don't understand why at the end of games like yesterday, there's no excuse for the offense not giving them opportunities. Now, the one thing that the defense, this game could have looked a lot better if after Mac Wilson's interception gave the Cardinals a very short field. Jacoby Brissett didn't throw an interception on the second play afterwards. Zay Jones got bumped, but he got bumped off his route, but it wasn't pass interference or anything. And Jacoby threw it to a spot, and Zay Jones wasn't there. And somebody wearing a Colts uniform was. So that could have been an extra 6, which could have changed things. But obviously, the defense didn't play like they've been playing. Will Johnson played well. Okay, ADG didn't have his best day. He was caught in coverage a couple times and was left out to dry. I think one of them was on the Josh Downs touchdown. I think he was in the vicinity on the Tyler Warren drag catch and run for a score also. But here's the thing, and hopefully Daedrian Taylor-Demerson, who got popped later in the game, hopefully he'll be fine moving forward. Budda Baker missed an interception, which was tough. They didn't show the pressure that we'd seen. They almost got Daniel Jones at least once outside of the Baron Browning sack. But yeah, the 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. It's not ideal. It's not what you're used to. And okay, let me get ahead of this. It's something that, the Cardinals defense has given up a lot of points in the fourth quarter this year when the offense wasn't doing their job. This wasn't that. So it's not concerning. It's just something to monitor. So, it's kind of a TBD. We'll see if Walter Nolan comes back. We'll see what Darius Robinson's like. We'll see if they're going to hold him out, with the bye in week 8. The Cardinals can't. If they want to save their season, they got to win on Sunday. So I don't really know. Like, they were giving up 19 points a game until last week. Okay, so this isn't like, oh, it's the defense's fault the Cardinals are 2-4. It's not. It's not. And also, they have 2 pretty seamless touchdown drives in the fourth quarter when the Cardinals offense was fighting. So, I just can't believe this is where we are. Can't believe this is where we are through 6 weeks watching this team. It's crazy. I'm sure it's not going to be less fireworky moving forward. So stick and stay. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Locked on Cardinals, your team every day. Remember, without you, there is no me. I'll talk to you then.